So Manchester United finally have a squad. Having splashed the cash this summer, let's take a look at what a fully fit second string outfit would look like for the club. Looking at their last Premier League game, a 2-0 win over Leicester City, we're going to use the best players that didn't start that game, fit or not, and feature them here. Sergio Romero. Like being a centre forward at White Hart Lane now, you know that if you signed for Manchester United as a goalkeeper, you'd better get acquainted with that bench, and fast. Signed in 2015, Sergio Romero has only ever made 6 league appearances for the club, with the bulk of those coming when he first arrived, with David De Gea too busy packing for a supposed flight to Madrid. The Argentina international, one of only 2 members of the United squad to have played in a World Cup final, has his manager's trust though, playing every minute of the club's victorious Europa League journey last season. A capable understudy. Matteo Darmian. It's fair to say Matteo Darmian has not exactly lit the world alight since arriving from Torino 2 years ago. A £12.7 million signing, mistakes littered his first season, and he was often used as a deputy left back last year. He's not going to trouble the starting 11, but the Italian international is still a decent defender, as exemplified by Juventus sniffing around his services last summer as they sought a replacement for Dani Alves. Victor Lindelof. Victor Lindelof is Manchester United's most expensive defender of all time. He's also yet to play a single minute of Premier League football for them. Despite being fit, the 23-year-old has not been afforded an opportunity yet, but he shouldn't panic. He did cost over £30 million, so once he's settled, he'll probably overtake Phil Jones in the pecking order. Well, either that or it'll just be a monumental waste of cash sitting on the bench, but that wouldn't be like Man United now, would it? Marcus Rojo. It's just over a month that Chris Smalling inexplicably included himself in Manchester United's all-time 11. Sorry Chris, but you'd be doing well to make their second team these days. Marcus Rojo could be out until the new year with a knee injury, but when fit, he'll be a serious contender for a starting place. One of the few bright sparks in a dismal campaign last season, Rojo, who was brought in as a left back, excelled in the heart of defence alongside Phil Jones. Luke Shaw. 3 years ago, a teenage Luke Shaw had England's top clubs battling it out for the country's hot prospect. Well, it's 2017 and he's a permanently crocked outcast at Old Trafford, with his relationship with his boss having been seemingly flushed down the toilet months ago. Criticised for poor work ethic last season, the 22-year-old is currently recovering from ankle ligament damage and has a battle on his hands to prove to his boss that he's not a £30 million waste of space. Ander Herrera. Of all the players currently warming the bench, Ander Herrera can probably feel the most aggrieved. Arguably the club's finest player last season, although that wasn't hard. He won the Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year award, as well as the Man of the Match accolade in the Europa League final win over Ajax. Suddenly Barcelona were linked and people were crying out for him to be given the captain's armband. And now he's a bench warmer, with Nemanja Matic having kicked him into touch. Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick has been at Manchester United long enough to have played alongside Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Henrik Larsson. Let that sink in. When he arrived in 2006, many expected Fergie to look for their seat within a couple of years. Nobody would have anticipated Carrick lasting 11 years at the club. Having extended his contract until next June, he was given the club captaincy in July, and were he not as old as time itself, there'd have been no need to fork out £40 million on Matic. Marcus Rashford. Yep, I know what you're going to say. Marcus Rashford is England's next great hope. How dare I suggest he's anything but a starter for Manchester United? Did someone say Golden Boot winner? Well, considering he was benched for their last game against Leicester, those are the rules, I'm afraid. The reality is that Rashford will probably start a lot more games than not this season, as he'll be alternated with Anthony Martial. An explosive finisher with raw pace, Rashford is being groomed by all the media outlets to be England's next big thing, which means that in 5 years he'll probably end up washed up in China with a drinking problem. Marouane Fellaini. While Ashley Young probably hides out in an underground bunker during every transfer window, how else can you explain the fact that he's been at the club for nearly 7 years now? Marouane Fellaini probably no longer has that problem. Jose Mourinho seems to have faith in the Belgian giant. When Galatasaray showed an interest during the summer, the Portuguese claimed he was simply too important. A danger both with his head and elbows, Fellaini is a weapon if utilised properly. Just don't get too close or he'll probably take your eye out. Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard does not score many goals, and thank God for that, because I don't think I could put up with any more of his spine-curling dab antics every time he does. The 22-year-old has made 100 appearances for the club, and yeah, he's not a world beater. He's probably got another 2 years, if that, of shelf life left at Old Trafford before he ends up at Southampton or something. But for now, he's a decent asset coming off the bench. Nothing more, nothing less. But any more dabs and I swear I will throw a rock at the TV. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Imagine having Zlatan Ibrahimovic as your backup striker. So what if he's 35 years old and barely able to walk? Eyeing a New Year's comeback, the Swede, who will turn 36 next month, is hell-bent on winning the Premier League. It'll be strange to see if Zlatan's ego will fit on the Old Trafford bench. Maybe they'll have to order in a separate one just for him. So it's a decent team, but where would it finish if given an entire season? I'm going to say 7th, but as always you will probably all completely disagree with me. Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.